Allen was right?
Well, The Athletic, using an analytical projection model, ranked rosters. And Buffalo was third, right after the Seahawks and Rams. I keep saying this. I know Billy Beane is low-hanging fruit as a general manager. Look at their offense. Star quarterback, star left tackle, star running back, star tight end. Excellent wide receiver. DJ Moore comes to town. Brandon Beane gets beat up, and I understand Josh Allen's great, hasn't been to a Super Bowl. I understand. But my takeaway is, guys, the Bills roster is not lampoonable. It's very good.
Yeah, I'd like to know how much weight Josh Allen holds in that analytics because as we know, say with me guys, Josh Allen is the best quarterback in the NFL. It's so funny to me how every time I say that everyone gets they have some faults. But yeah, listen. I'm never too interested in trying to rank who's got the best roster. Especially right now. Like that just doesn't really mean a whole lot to me, especially where you're just like looking at it analytically. I don't even know what that means, honestly. I look through the stats and I look through the analytics, too, but like and it's like and I don't care enough to really like investigate it cause it's just like it reminds me when Nick had like a whole meltdown when he was like when they were ranking like best offensive weapons in the NFL or something like that and the Chiefs were ranked like too low. I forget. And I was just like, what do again, it's like, what are we discussing right now? Like what even is this conversation? But I do think it's still a good jumping off point for the idea that the Bills are not good or that they're not going to be competitive or that, they're making all these mistakes and there's no reason that they'll be better this year than they were last year and blah 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 blah. And in these types of moments, I try to look at things through the simplest way possible. Sometimes I love to complicate things. I love to get lost in the weeds and just really keep digging. And forever and listen and just changes randomly. And right now, I'm looking at things through the most simplified way possible. And I just made a Broncos video discussing a similar way of looking at it where it's just like people are questioning how good the Broncos will be. And it's just like you have a quarterback who's going to be in his third year now. Just by that alone, he should be better now in year 3. You don't think he's going to be better in year 3 than he was as a rookie? Doesn't make any sense. They just got Jalen Waddle, gave him like a true, awesome, great number 1 wide receiver. You don't think that he's going to be better with that player now than he was in years past? Of course. And now, apparently, should have a better play caller. So, when you look at those things, it's like it's very binary. You're giving these things. Of course, you should be at the bare minimum better than you were previously. And I look at that like with the Buffalo Bills right now. I believe that you made true moves to improve this defense, even just from a coaching perspective. So, I'm pretty confident this defense will be better. And then, offensively, you didn't have DJ Moore last year. You have DJ Moore this year. To think that that's not going to have an impact on Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills, that makes no sense. That makes no sense. Of course, it will. Is it enough to win a Super Bowl? Is it enough to be the best team in the NFL? Is enough to have the third best roster post-NFL draft? It's like, I don't know, man. Nobody doesn't knows. And that's why that conversation is kind of like, okay, sure, whatever. But to use it as a way to pretty much imply that the Bills have no chance that they're not improving, it's like, of course they are. And Josh Allen is a force multiplier as well. And I think Brady will be as a head coach. So, it's one of those things where it's just like there's certain players, there's certain quarterbacks where maybe if you add an additional again, let's just keep it super basic. Let's just keep it super basic. You don't have a great wide receiver. Now we give you a wide receiver. Every single quarterback is going to improve. Every single quarterback. You had a season where you didn't have a good wide receiver. Now the next year, you have a great wide receiver. Every quarterback, backup quarterback, third, fourth, fifth string quarterback in college, high school, you will be sorry, I just banged my mic. You will be better. You will be better. Then you have a Josh Allen. Then you have the category of Josh Allen where you add that and it's like, not only you're going to be better, but you're going to open up a lot more. It's like the ultimate example of a force multiplier. Like let's just continue to keep it really, really basic. Okay. And let's just use a more neutral wide receiver, Justin Jefferson. Okay. If you add Justin Jefferson to Kyler Murray, 'cause that's about to happen. Kyler Murray is going to be a better quarterback. Okay. And he will be able to run a better offense. No question about it. No question about it. You add Justin Jefferson to Josh Allen and you are set up to have a historically great year. Whether it be Justin Jefferson going off for 2,000 yards, whatever it may be. Like you are set up to truly achieve greatness. Now, I am not saying DJ Moore is Justin Jefferson. I'm using that as a clear-cut example of the degrees of improvements and force multipliers. And so it's like even if you now add in just a genuinely great wide receiver 2 or something, right? Or like any type of elevation, it's like when you give those ingredients to a Josh Allen, it's like it has such a greater and more significant impact. Without a doubt. We have endless examples of this. Endless examples of this. And actually, the way how I really have been loving this quote more and more that Colin has emphasized recently, right? Where it's like you don't have to be great everywhere, you just can't be bad anywhere. And I do wholeheartedly agree with that. But that is highlighted even more so when you have a quarterback like Josh Allen. That like if you can just elevate a little bit, if you can just give a little bit more to work with, it's like well, now Eerie talking, right? Like now we're in a position to succeed. Now we can really get to work in it and it's the ultimate trickle-down effect. And it's why so many people and maybe why I'm downplaying it a little bit and maybe I shouldn't, but adding Kenneth Walker to the Chiefs and how it's just like just having a semblance of a more consistent run game will really be able to open things up so much more for the Chiefs. And it's like that would be a fair criticism against some of my takes with that I've had the conversations about the Chiefs. Even though I've said I think they'll be better and their offense will be better. I just don't think it's like the absolute game changer. Just like how I'm not saying that DJ Moore is an absolute game changer. But it will be significantly better. And considering where the Bills have been and where they're at, it does put them in a great position. Combine that with ideally a better defense that's not a liability for them. And there you are, man. There you are. And now you're also working with an offensive coordinator. And I told you guys this a million times, and it's because I've directly experienced it in multiple sports. There is such a difference between having your head coach and your position coach or your coordinator like let you know, I'll just use position coach as just like a placeholder. It's such a difference. And when now that position coach becomes the head coach, even though you've been mainly reporting to that position coach, it changes the dynamic, everything changes. I promise you the relationship that Josh Allen has with Brady now is fundamentally different. It is fundamentally different from when he was just simply an offensive coordinator. And I think there is a tremendous amount of benefits to that. Brady has more control and power over what he wants to do right now, how he wants to operate practices, where he wants to put time and energy and resources in. When he did not have that as a coordinator, he was more handcuffed because it was not his team. And Josh Allen, even though that's your coordinator, that's your main guy that you're working with from a quarterback perspective, from an offensive perspective, he's still not the head coach. It's still different. I promise you, it's still different. And now that relationship is different in the positive. And so that alone I think will have a legitimate positive impact. So I am anticipating a more buttoned-up offense, which excites me. So, yeah. I think the conversation is more about the Bills as a whole and not trying to figure out where they rank in terms of analytically, who's got the best roster, cause it's like, sure, okay. And again, if is Josh Allen taking on a lot of that? Because we think the Eagles because the Eagles like cause he said under the Seahawks and the Rams. And it's like, okay, but everyone told me that the Eagles have like a stacked roster or something like that. And it's like, well then where are the Eagles? And it's like, well Jalen Hurts isn't Josh Allen. And it's like, okay. So it's like if we remove Josh Allen, do the Bills roster go to like 10th, 15th? You know, like what is that's why, you know, like I said, I only care so much, but if you guys have that answer, please definitely let me know in the comments below. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear your thoughts. You know, do you think the Bills have, you know, an elite top roster? 'Cause that's it. If you have the third best roster, then you have an elite roster. And you know, how do you feel about the construction? How do you feel about their ability to be like legitimate Super Bowl contenders? And I mean like more so than in years past cause we know they're obviously always contenders, but like do you think that they should you know, maybe the better question is like do you think it's their year to lose at least in the AFC? Right? At least in the AFC. Let me know your thoughts. I read every single comment. So do you agree with me or disagree with me? Either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here and absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. This really does help visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next.